नमस्कार, मैं अशोक व्यास विजन ओवेसा वॉइस कम्युनिटी कार्यक्रम में आपका स्वागत है। और आज के अंक में जहां आप तक पहुंचाने का अवसर है आगामी जन्माष्टमी के पर्व पर मंगल कामनाएं। अजन्मा का जन्म होता है सनातन परंपरा में। भगवान श्री कृष्ण के जन्मदिन के अवसर पर धूमधाम से, उल्लास से, भक्ति को बढ़ाने की दृष्टि से उपवास रखा जाता है, कीर्तन किए जाते हैं और रात को 12 बजे लालन यानी बाल कृष्ण के स्वरूप को पंचामृत से स्नान करवाया जाता है। एक उद्घोष जो इस अवसर पर होता है, नंद के घर आनंद भयो, जय कन्हैया लाल की। उस उद्घोष का स्मरण करते हुए बढ़ते हैं आज के विजन ऑफ एशिया की खास पेशकश की तरफ। आज आप तक पहुंचाएंगे न्यूयॉर्क में हुए वैक्सीन वॉर इस शीर्षक से जो फिल्म बनाई गई है विवेक अग्निहोत्री के द्वारा। उसकी स्क्रीनिंग की कुछ झलक आज के कार्यक्रम में आप देखेंगे। आगामी गणेश उत्सव की तैयारियां कैसे हो रही हैं क्रिस्टोफर मॉर्ले पार्क में आयोजित होने वाले उत्सव की, उसके बारे में बातचीत आयोजकों के साथ और साथ ही अंश उस मुलाकात का जिसमें एक महत्वपूर्ण एल्बम द रेजोनेंस बिटवीन के दोनों प्रमुख संगीतकारों के साथ आप एक छोटी सी बातचीत देखेंगे। तो ये सब करेगा आपकी प्रतीक्षा इस छोटे से अंतराल के बाद। बने रहें हमारे साथ। आपका स्वागत है ITV गोल्ड पर विजन ऑफ एशिया कार्यक्रम में। आज के कार्यक्रम की शुरुआत करते हैं एक छोटी सी रिपोर्ट से जिसमें आप सुनेंगे आर माधवन क्या सोचते हैं वैक्सीन वॉर मूवी के बारे में। और ये विचार व्यक्त किए उन्होंने वॉशिंगटन DC में हुई स्क्रीनिंग के बाद। ये फिल्म महत्वपूर्ण फिल्म है क्योंकि इसमें भारत के उन वैज्ञानिकों पर शोध करके फिल्म बनाई गई है जिनको श्रेय जाता है वैक्सीन से निपटने के लिए, कोविड का सामना करने के लिए न केवल भारतवासियों की बल्कि पूरे विश्व में भारत की तरफ से सहायता पहुंचाने के मूल में होने का। और इसमें प्रमुख भूमिका जहां पल्लवी जोशी ने निभाई है, निर्देशन का जिम्मा रहा है द कश्मीर फाइल्स से विशेष रूप से अपनी ख्याति अर्जित करने वाले विवेक अग्निहोत्री का। और न्यूयॉर्क की स्क्रीन के आयोजन का विशेष श्रेय जाता है मोहन वांचू को। प्रस्तुत है ये खास रिपोर्ट।
This movie has been produced by Pallavi Joshi and has been directed by Vivek Agnihotri. The movie is about how India made the COVID vaccine under unprecedented challenges and produced this vaccine through its independent research and then was able to successfully produce the vaccine and then also provide it free of cost to more than 100 countries in the whole world. It is a celebration of women power because mostly it was women on the team of scientists which did all the research and then produced this vaccine. And it's a story about how women made the supreme sacrifices of being away from their families, being away from their children, and yet spent countless numbers of days and nights not even going home, but continuously doing the research and finally producing this vaccine. The movie is also about the internal struggles of India, how there were powers within India that were not in favor of producing this vaccine because they were under the influence of vested foreign interests who wanted to make sure that India fails in this production of the vaccine. It is really a salute to the grit and the resolve of the Indian scientist community, of the women scientists who made sure that ultimately we prevailed and we produced this vaccine and also saved our 1.4 billion Indian people from being from suffering from COVID and save them, from an untimely death. It was great to be working with Vivek Agnihotri ji and Pallavi Joshi ji, who were here on a 1 month long tour. They toured the entire United States from coast to coast and went to 11 cities, starting from Texas to California to Chicago, and then finally performing the grand finale right here in New York. So the grand finale screening was on Sunday, September 3rd, at the AMC 25 cinema on 42nd Street. It was a show that was shown to a packed audience of about 300 people, and the audience was wonderstruck when they saw this movie, how the COVID vaccine was produced and how there were internal and external forces that were bent upon making sure that the vaccine would not be produced successfully.
Left-oriented, more leftist publications all over the world started saying that India is going to perish, India is going to die almost 40-50%. In February, first week of February, when nobody in India even knew about that something called COVID or world didn't know, at that time, these scientists secretly, without telling even the government of India, started working on the vaccine. Just a bunch of few people, and mostly women. We have not shown the sacrifices they have made because the scientists didn't want too much. They didn't want us to tell too much about their family and personal affairs. But this is not a story of just these scientists. It's a story of every Indian woman. Today, where we travel a lot in the world, wherever I go, I find there is trust deficit. People don't trust me. But in every part of the world, Indians are trusted. And they are trusted because of their mothers who sacrifice so much but give right values to their child. They just want their child to be trusted by the world. And I take little more time. I want to, this is the closing screening and one of the most important screenings, and for us it's a real litmus test to do it in New York. And I want to tell you guys, India has been slave to invaders and colonizers for 1,000 years. In America, everybody understands what slavery is all about. You are struggling with white and black problem. When you look at black population, the African population, you look with compassion. You know that they have suffered so much. Therefore, it's time to help them, empower them, make them come and walk beside you one-on-one. That is the principle of equality.
After the grand finale of the movie on 42nd Street, yesterday, Monday, September 4th, was the grand finale event at Times Square, where hundreds of people had come and witnessed a beautiful dance commemorating the grand finale of this movie. They danced to the shlokas from the Rig Veda and showed the whole world how India produced this virus and wanted to show the world that India was a leader in thinking way back when, 10,000 years back. It is still a leader in thinking and original research and science and technology, and of course, our spirituality and the yoga and Ayurveda, etc., etc. And it was a reminder to the international community that had gathered, and had thronged Times Square, that we are still providing all the help to mankind that we possibly can. We step up to the occasion, and we, in the true tradition of our Sanatan Dharma, help out the whole world when there is need to help out.
सत्य धर्म पालक अतुल चल नियामक रक्षा कर, पहली है दिशा एक बाहु जैसी उसकी सब में सब पर, ऐसे ही देवता की उपासना करें हम हवि देकर, ऐसे ही देवता की उपासना करें हम हवि देकर।
So it was absolutely amazing to attend and to lead the Times Square event, which was ultimately the grand finale. And Vivek Agnihotri and Pallavi Joshi are now on their plane back to India, feeling very, very content and very, very satisfied that their tour of the United States for a full 1 month was very successful and has kind of set the expectations and set the level playing field for the international release of this movie on September 28th. I would urge and strongly request all of our viewers and everyone out there to watch this movie because it is going to be an eye-opener. It is a moment of pride for all Indians from all faiths and all walks of life to see how India is leading the world and making it a much safer, happier and wonderful place. Thank you Ashok ji for inviting me to the show. Thank you.
और आइए अब आपको लिए चलते हैं मुलाकात करवाने उन आयोजकों से इंडियन अमेरिकन फेस्टिवल्स इंक की तरफ से जो लगातार गणेश उत्सव का हिक्सिल में आयोजन करते रहे हैं। इस बार 22, 23 और 24 सितंबर को ये गणेश महोत्सव आयोजित हो रहा है क्रिस्टोफर मॉर्ली पार्क में। क्या कुछ होने वाला है, आइए जानते हैं।
गणपति बप्पा मोरया, गणपति बप्पा मोरया, गणपति बप्पा मंगल मूर्ति मोरया रे बप्पा मोरया रे, मोरया रे बप्पा मोरया रे।
नमस्ते, मैं अशोक व्यास हूँ। ओम गम गणपतये नमः के साथ में मैं उन सब के साथ खड़ा हूँ जो पूरी निष्ठा और श्रद्धा से गणेश उत्सव मनाते हैं। और इस बार इस उत्सव का स्थल बदल गया है। क्या कुछ बदला है और क्या कुछ नया आपकी प्रतीक्षा करेगा इस पार्क में और कब करेगा, उसके बारे में जानकारी प्राप्त करेंगे। और क्या है वो बात जो प्रेरित करती है सबको। सबसे पहले स्वागत कर रहा हूँ मैं इस बातचीत में, और मेरा सौभाग्य ये है कि मैं पास्ट प्रेसिडेंट इंडो अमेरिकन फेस्टिवल्स इंक के जो डॉक्टर राकेश शर्मा हैं उनके साथ भी खड़ा हूँ, और जो प्रेजेंट प्रेसिडेंट हैं उनके बीच भी खड़ा हूँ। तो पहले पास्ट प्रेसिडेंट से बात करते हैं। इतने वर्ष जो ये गणेश उत्सव का आयोजन हुआ आपकी अध्यक्षता में, तो क्या संतोष आपको विशेष रूप से रहा?
सबसे पहले तो मैं भगवान का बहुत ज़्यादा शुक्रगुजार हूँ कि इस साल ये 5वां गणेश महोत्सव कर रहे हैं हम लोग लॉन्ग आइलैंड न्यूयॉर्क में। ये भी एक भगवान की कृपा है कि हम सब लोग बड़े उत्साह के साथ ये त्यौहार मनाते हैं लॉन्ग आइलैंड न्यूयॉर्क में। फॉर दोज हु डोंट अंडरस्टैंड हिंदी वेरी वेल, दिस इज़ आवर 5th गणेश महोत्सव through Indo-American Festivals New York, and I'm very glad that this is our 5th year to celebrate Ganesh Mahotsav on Long Island, New York. I'm blessed, and we all are blessed that in this land we have been preserving Sanatan Dharam and the culture of our birth country in this foreign land.
Lord Ganapati, what kind of inspiration you derive when you are in his presence?
Oh, Ganesh ji. Oh, knowledge and well-being. Well, the story of it is very interesting as well.
And newness brings additional joy and enthusiasm, but challenges also. How do you see moving the location to Christopher Morley Park?
Well, I think moving this location to Christopher Morley Park is perhaps one of the best features of this Ganesh festival, because we really feel that Ganpati belongs in a park-like setting, so that our families can come here, enjoy the Ganesh festival as well as the park, and we feel that families would feel right at home in this new location.
So how do you see, you have witnessed earlier 4 years of Ganesh Utsav?
Yes, it's very interesting. All the families come along, children. बच्चों के लिए तो स्पेशल हमारे यहाँ कल्चरल प्रोग्राम रखते हैं, उनको परफॉर्मेंस के लिए स्टेज मिलता है, दे गेट कॉन्फिडेंस. गणपति में हमारे यहाँ फ्री इवनिंग में गरबा है, 3 days फुल गरबा, होल डे हमारे यहाँ कल्चरल प्रोग्राम चलता है. एंड देन वी हैव अ पेंटिंग कंपटीशन फॉर चिल्ड्रन एंड वी हैव गुड प्राइजेस एंड सर्टिफिकेट्स एंड goodies for the children, and they all are very excited to join this year.
This Ganesh Mahotsav is very near to our heart. We have started about 5 years back, and since then we are celebrating and having a very joyous moment. And every time we do the celebration, our function is keeping on increasing. You can come and have the worship of Lord Ganesha, as well as you will have a lot of activities, culture program, and in the night time you will have a Garba celebration also. So it's a moment of very joyful moment, and we'll have for 3 days, and every day will be full of lot of activities.
Basically, there are multiple significant, inspiring suggestions coming from the Bij Mantra Gam also. And more of that becomes a part of your experience when you participate here in the worship. But at the same time, it is not just a religious, it is social, and it is fun event. So,
मैं पिछले 5 साल से इस एसोसिएशन से एसोसिएटेड हूँ और वॉलंटियर की तरह काम करता था. अभी थोड़ा मैनेजमेंट साइड में भी आ गया हूँ. इसके लिए मेरा फॉर्चून है कि जब से हम इंडिया से आए हैं, हम लोग माइग्रेट हुए हैं यहाँ पर. इंडिया में तो ये महोत्सव मोस्टली महाराष्ट्र में होता है और 7 से 9 दिन का प्रोग्राम होता है वहाँ पर.
इंडिया में होने लगा.
हाँ, बल्कि अब नॉर्थ इंडिया में भी सेलिब्रेट करने लगे, और वहाँ तो 7 से 9 दिन का उत्सव होता है. बड़े बड़े पंडाल लगते हैं, लोग गणेश जी की वर्शिप करते हैं और फिर विसर्जन होता है.
द रेजोनेंस बिटवीन एक महत्वपूर्ण एल्बम है जो कहीं आध्यात्मिक परंपरा के साथ साथ भारत की कला का एक आधुनिक स्वरूप हमारे सामने लेकर आता है, जो हमारे भीतर प्रवेश करने की प्रेरणा को आनंद के साथ हम तक पहुंचाता है. और इस द रेजोनेंस बिटवीन एल्बम की परिकल्पना और इसकी प्रस्तुति के पीछे सरोद वादक आलम खान और सितार वादक आदित्य वर्मा हैं. उन दोनों से हमने इस एल्बम के बारे में बातचीत की. कई अनछुए पहलू कलात्मक दृष्टि से इस बातचीत में निखर कर आए. प्रस्तुत है उस बातचीत का ये अंश.
We go in a reverse order. So we begin with this moment when your new album is about to reach, and it has offerings which are mystical as well as innovative, rooted in the tradition. So let's begin with you, Arjun. How it makes you feel the resonance between what it is?
Yeah, I mean, this is really a pleasure for us to finally be able to share. Alam and I have been working on this for a long time, and Alam led the charge on this project initially. I'll let him say more about that. But we had been thinking for some time, how to present music that would express our unique life experience, which includes being, of course, Indian classical musicians, but as well being musicians who grew up in America and being Indian Americans ourselves, both genetically and culturally mixed. So we ourselves have a wide variety of influences in our musical and our lives. And so this was an attempt to express that sonically, one type of combination in that. I grew up listening to Western classical music and Indian classical music. And so this, for me, is like a combination of my two great loves of these types of music.
Wonderful. So, Alamji, a similar question to you, but I'll add, talk to us about how this title, the resonance between was finalized. And if I loosely translate resonance with Anunad, or so there is a resonance, and then we go to Anad ka Naad, where so this resonance between kind of suggests that there is this musical silence, and perhaps you are aspiring to explore and share that.
Sure. Thank you for having me, Ashokji. Namaste, everyone. The title is taking an optimistic approach towards the state of the world is one of the angles. The other angle is the resonance between the instruments and the art forms, and the culture, and being steeped in Indian culture and tradition as well, and going to India every year, touring, seeing my family. Both cultures are intertwined. So there's a resonance between that. There's also confusion between these things, of course, between any culture, any place like that, any kind of musical form, there can be confusion, but I'm wanting to look at the positive things. And after, the pandemic and all these kinds of things where people are separated, we were all separated quite a bit. Though we were together online, we were separated physically. I like to lean into the connection that human beings were yearning for and that they were deprived of for all that time. So that resonance between human beings, despite our differences, what is it that connects us? And what is that kind of, how do we express that feeling? So there's the resonance between people, there's the resonance between the instruments, there's the resonance of the sympathetic strings on our instruments, the sarod and sitar, which have many sympathetic resonating strings. So all of these things together kind of came into the title of the album.
And now important information and invitation about Yemen Arts Foundation's event, Confluence for Peace, which is a colorful music festival with local talents and world-renowned artists. This is dedicated to global harmony in association with Parikh Worldwide Media and happening here at ITVGold Auditorium on September 10th. Our auditorium is located at 1655 Oak Tree Road, Edison, New Jersey. Sitar Maestro Pandit Parth Bose and Tal Samrat Aditya Narayan Banerjee will be performing. This is being organized by students of Pandit Jasraj Institute and Shruti Sangam under the direction of Adya Shri Lalita Mathur. Do join us and enjoy this concert, Confluence for Peace. और अब आज का विजन वेशिया वॉइस कनेक्ट कार्यक्रम समाप्त करने से पहले फिर एक बार आपको जन्माष्टमी के पर्व पर मंगल कामनाएं देते हुए हमारा साथ देने के लिए आपका आभार। अपना ख्याल रखें। अशोक व्यास को अनुमति दें। नमस्कार।